Bitter criticism in the middle of nowhere. I was afraid because there's really nobody. And Mursi is gone. Mursi take another path today. And we don't have our female dog. What are we with our female dog? Protecting us, complaining about everything, about any sound, but everything's fine. The dogs are there. Yeah, dogs to protect you. Anyway, let's read some news. Russia today, this country, hated by the Olympics. Who cares, I wonder, I will ask Cgtn right away if are there any Russian athlete that is not competing just because of the sanctions, the Olympic sanctions. I guess not. Is there any Russian athlete in Paris? I'm asking ChatGPT, but the truth is, ChatGPT is not collaborating anymore. I feel that ChatGPT is being ironic with me. It looks like ChatGPT hates me, doesn't care about my questions. I use ChatGPT mostly to find music, and it's not working. Is there any Russian? Well, I want to know this music like this. I'm going home in an hour. And that's it. It's hard to find because it's from the 90s. It's from I saw that music. I heard it on MTV propaganda. Is there any Russian athlete in Olympics 2024 that didn't win just because of protests against the sanctions, protests. What I want to say is that there's zero Russian athletes that didn't win. I guess my English is, look, no Russian athletes went to the 2024 Paris Olympics specifically due to protests against sanctions. Oh, he didn't understand me. Yeah, so what I want to know is there any Russian athlete, despite that he accepted the sanctions, understand? Anybody accepting sanctions, I guess that's not happening. Nobody accept the sanctions. People just Tommy, just a second. Tommy. Tommy. Quieto. And Mursi is missing. The question is, I guess all the Russian athletes, they went. There was nobody remaining. Understand? But I'm going to read this bad text for a bad question maybe. No Russian look. The question was: is there any Russian athlete in Olympics 2024 that didn't win just because of protests against the sanctions? And what Cgtn globalist liberal said: no Russian athletes went to the 2024. Oh, give me a break, you know. You understood. Oh, what a stupid robot. Went to the 2024 Paris Olympics specifically due to protests against sanctions. Oh yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I'm sorry. No Russian athlete went to the 2024 Paris Olympics specifically due to protests against sanctions. That doesn't what I... Well, it's very hard to communicate. Communication is very hard. Imagine with a robot. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, allows some Russian athletes to participate as individual neutral athletes under strict conditions. These conditions allow some Russian athletes, but yeah, I want to know, but I'm not so curious about it. I'm just gonna leave this right here. Allow some Russian athletes to participate as individual neutral athletes under strict conditions. These conditions include not representing Russia or any Russian organization and not having actively supported the war in Ukraine. Athletes competing under these terms do so to avoid penalizing individuals for actions of their government while maintaining the sanctions against the Russian state. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not in Russia. Unfortunately, I'm not in China. I guess Pepe Escobar just got wrong. Pepe Escobar some time ago. Bitter criticism on Pepe Escobar. The first thing I always do is look what Pepe is publishing on social on Telegram. But what Pepe said 4 months ago when he was in Brazil or something, or maybe 1 year ago, I guess it's 1 year ago, Pepe said the most important country in the world, it would be Moscow, it would be Russia. But by this time, he said it's China. So be careful, Pepe. We are trying to make something, we're trying to take decisions here. And that's it. Criticism. Yeah, we are all critics here. So there's nothing new, nothing. There's a Pepe Escobar article in Italian. It go like this. Pepe Escobar, il treno ad alta velocità è partito. Il 24th century non potrà che essere il secolo cinese et eurasiatico. I'm very amateur. I'm very amateur. Well, don't know. I only have two channels, and I have this channel. What happened to me with Telegram is that I never see what's going on. But this time, look, I have this channel called Eurasia, and multipolarity is in English and is fine for the purposes of this very YouTube channel. Russia adapting tactics, advances in Donetsk and takes more Ukrainian land. Oh, I guess Mursi got crazy. She went outside. She's stuck in the block. Mursi got stuck in the block. Anyway, Russia adapting tactics, advances in Donetsk and takes more Ukrainian land. Russia adapting tactics, advances in Donetsk and takes more Ukrainian land. The Washington Post states that Russia has practically occupied the Donetsk region and the Ukrainian armed forces have no more forces. Yeah, yeah, good news, you know. Who knows what's going to happen, you know. I just read yesterday the conditions Ukrainian want to are asking for Russian, and it's impossible, you know. Look, Russia is occupying all they want Donbass. Nothing is going to change, you know. And says Russian troops have launched an offensive arc in the Donbass and are braving the intense summer heat as they try to expand Moscow's sustained territorial gains and capture the city of Pokrovsk, a key transit hub. Ukrainian troops, meanwhile, are experiencing an acute shortage of soldiers and depletion of the army's combat personnel. The 30-year-old battalion commander of the 47th Brigade admitted that the Ukrainian armed forces soldiers are experiencing difficulties and noted that Russia is using a cunning strategy. This strategy is clever. You first try to concentrate enemy forces in one direction and then distract them in another. Then first goal is to destroy us. The second is to push us so that they can gain more leverage for peace negotiations and get more from us. They almost captured the Donetsk region. Yeah, go Russia. I will give a heart. Yeah, I gave a heart. Only 3 of us gave a heart in the world. And I cannot send my videos to them. But that's it. Chinese language. Anyway, so this is another channel. I'm not seeing any article. Just there's another community. Russian Defense Ministry. I'm going to unite. Yeah, I'm just Minister of Defense something. Yeah. Look. Wait a minute. Top today news. Yeah, this is nice. Top news today. Yeah, this is very nice. This group, the Minister of Defense of Russia, is pure gold. Top news today. Deputy Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, Colonel General Alexander Fomin, held meeting with Commander of the People's Liberation Army Navy, Admiral Hu Xiongmin, and Commander of the Navy of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Rear Admiral Chen Win, who arrived in St. Petersburg to take part in the main naval parade. The units of the Center Group of Forces have liberated Lozovatskoye, Donetsk People's Republic. Russian troops continue to take more advantageous lines and move deep into the enemy defenses. The AFU losses were up to 1,910 servicemen. 17 servicemen of the AFU Marines voluntarily surrendered on the islands in the delta of the Dnieper River in Kherson region. From who? From Ukraine, I guess. 17 servicemen. Didn't say that. Yeah. The Russian defense, yeah, I guess definitely. The Dnieper River, Kherson. The Russian Defense Ministry shows the Terminator combat vehicle. You know, that's the best, you know. If I was a Ukrainian fighter, I will surrender right away, you know. I will escape to Russia and nobody will see me again in the West. What about that? The Russian Defense Ministry shows the Terminator combat vehicle, the Strum-S self-propelled anti-tank missile system. the Cgtn CAM system, UAV operators, and the Su-25 attacked aircraft in action. Oh, people in Russia, they have a lot of weapons. In addition, the Russian military department shows the footage of the attack detachment combat cohesion. Well, these pages are great, but let's see what Russian news is saying, because Russia is a country with very, very injustice, suffering a lot of injustice, and Mursi just is trapped. Mursi is trapped, or maybe she is with her boyfriend. Israel bombs targets in Lebanon. The airstrikes came after Israel accused Hezbollah of killing 12 civilians in the Golan Heights. Trump leads Harris, Wall Street Journal and Forbes polls. Israel nearing all-out war. I don't remember who. Oh, Scott Ritter. I guess it was Scott Ritter. He said Kamala Harris is stupid, basically. He has no personality. Yeah, that was my take. I was listening Kamala Harris, an interview, just because he is the candidate, and she's so boring. But it's very hard. Again, anybody, even Pepe Escobar. If Pepe Escobar was the Democrats candidate, he will need to be stupid too. Because of the compromises, because of the deep state, what? The deep state performance protecting the industrial complex military interests. So you have to be stupid, You have to be naive. You have to be. Nobody can say, if you are a Democrat candidate, you cannot say, well, I will make a lot of war. I will make the World War III, because that's what the industrial complex military want us to do. That's the whole truth, and that's true is impossible. Everybody knows, and nobody can recognize that. Well, we have a behavioral article about something is everybody's commenting, but I didn't see that. I don't know nothing about this, but now I'm going to read the article. Well, it says like this. Russia Today at July 27. Transgender Olympic Last Supper parody. There's a Last Supper. Yeah, I listened something from Rui Costa Pimenta from PCO. He said that this is just to scandalize, to provoke. This is a bad provocation, I'm here always provocating, but I don't care about. I don't care much about. About freedom of lack of freedom. That there's contradictions in freedom and lack of freedom in free of speech. But I guess I don't approve this. I guess I'm not. I don't support the wokeism. I'm just going to read now. Transgender Olympic Last Supper parody sparks outrage. Many netizens have called the Paris Games opening ceremony the worst ever. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, who knows what's happening in France? Who knows? There's a lot of fascism, there's a lot of wokeism. The opening ceremony for the Olympic Games in Paris on Friday has sparked global public outrage over a show filled with apparent parodies of Christian religious symbols. Netizens argued, yeah, somehow I remember that I was watching the World Cup in Brazil, and there was kind of male chauvinism too. There was and I guess because of soccer is a male chauvinist sport, and at some point there was a ball made of women, and suddenly the men kicked the women's on the floor. What about that? Yeah, I guess all these mega event of sports, they are definitely intolerant, chauvinist, racist. They are not a good thing, but who knows? I praise a lot of these people from this Chinese little. She's 18 years old now. The Kwang something from the diving. That's my favorite my favorite, because I was practicing swimming, and someday I start to improving my diving, and I saw it's very hard. It's very hard to make a perfect dive. Even a regular dive is not so easy, because in your mind you are falling on the water, and you have to think about what you do in the air. And well, diving is definitely one of the great sports I know, and that Chinese girl is my hero, because it's perfect. If you are criticizing, of course, I was looking for beautiful sport athletes, and suddenly I saw this perfect Chinese athlete, doing it all perfect. She got two perfect tens, more than this gymnast from last century. I don't remember who, but yeah, diving is definitely a fantastic sport. Anyway, so Olympics. The opening ceremony for the Olympic Games in Paris on Friday has sparked global public outrage over a show filled with apparent parodies of Christian religious symbols. Netizens argued that several parts of the ceremony mocked universally recognizable works of art associated with Christianity. One such performance featured transgender performers appearing to reenact the Last Supper, the renowned painting of Christ and his apostles by Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci. Users on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram alike lambasted the performance as disgusting and outright blasphemy. I have to agree with Russia Today and Rui Costa Pimenta that if you are a Christian, Christianity is not that bad. If you consider the world is very brutal and savage, if you need some help, why not take help from Christianity? Just in like Entre Tinieblas from Almodóvar, that movie. Those nuns, they were helping drug addicts, junkie women, and any woman who needs. Of course, the nun, was a lesbian. So anyway, so I guess it's very hard to be transparent, pure. There's a quotation, I don't know from who, maybe Mayakovsky. Purity is, I don't remember. Purity is a fiction or something. Purity is there's no purity, understand? Yeah, I don't remember now. Anyway, I'm just going to finish this article, and I'm going to find the quotation. Many public figures were among those criticizing the display, including Tesla and space founder Elon Musk, who said that it was extremely disrespectful to Christians. You know, and definitely what's going on is a dispute. This is a dispute in France from between globalists, between Emmanuel Macron, NATO, globalists. They are wokeist, and Marine Le Pen. Rui Pimenta says Marine Le Pen is dangerous, but yeah, maybe that's because he is considering Le Pen's family. But maybe this Le Pen family is also, you know, my thesis, my overall thesis is that fascism will not be as dangerous as it was last century, because now we have more communication, you know. Now we have social media, now we have pool, we have trends. We have trends, you know, follow the trends on X or Twitter or Threads. I will open up a platform called Twitter. What about Twitter? That will be my own platform from Global South. Anyway, the repeated presence of transgender individuals and drag queens at the ceremony appealed many users. For instance, 3 drag queens were among the torch bearers who carried the Olympic flame as it made its way to Paris. Some netizens accused the organizers of catering of wokeism and argued that the Olympics should not be turned into a pride parade or a drag show. Definitely. But you cannot ask anything from this sterilizer globalist, you know. Definitely, I will give a point to Elon Musk. These people want to sterilize everybody. Another episode that was seen as mocking of Christianity was a rider on a pale horse parading along the river Seine. This was seen as a reference to one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the one representing death. In the biblical book of Revelation, the use of such a symbol was perceived by some as straight satanic, yeah, and suggesting that it was being made clear that Christian viewers aren't welcome. They are not welcome. Crazy. Several videos posted online featured a compilation of performances from the Paris opening ceremony, juxtaposed with some from years past. Friday's event was compared unfavorably with the spectacular 2008 Olympics in Beijing, which featured 2008 drummers performing the same bet at the 2014 Olympics in Russia, which included a ballet tribute to Leon Tolstoy, War and Peace. Social media users claimed in mass that Paris had failed to live up to the standards of previous opening ceremonies. Yeah, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it, you know. Easily one of the worst Olympic opening ceremonies in recent history, Paris shit show, one user wrote. This will ultimately be an unforgettable opening ceremony for the Olympics forever. A ceremony we saw which we could ultimately forget, another echoed. Addressing organizers after the ceremony, French President Emmanuel Macron appeared to ignore the criticism it evoked, praising their work and saying he was proud they made France shine. He posted a similar message on his official X account, the Twitter, but it has since received several thousand comments from users asking what is there to be proud of. And well, so yeah, Macron and Kamala, Obama, Biden, they cannot be critics, you know. It's impossible for globalist politicians to be critical. That's the hard question about the world. And there's more. There's more from Russia Today. At July 27, 2024, FBI confirms Trump hit by bullet. The U.S. law enforcement agency released a new statement after its director was grilled at a contentious congressional hearing. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, after an assassination attempt at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, July 12. Have a photograph. That's the photograph. The FBI has confirmed that former U.S. President Donald Trump was grazed by a bullet during an attempt on his life earlier this month. The clarification has made after FBI Director Christopher Wray caught flag for doubling that it was a bullet what wounded Trump. I'm just going to release Tommy a little bit. Quote, what struck former president in the ear was a bullet, whether whole or fragment into smaller pieces, fired from a deceased subject's rifle. Deceased, he died, I guess. The agency said in a short statement on Friday, no, it's impossible to a bullet. For a bullet, it's impossible to destroy a bullet. The bullet doesn't destroy, you know. So it was a full bullet. Anyway, not a piece of a bullet. The shooter, later identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, climbed onto a roof of a building and fired several shots at Trump as he was delivering a speech at an open-air campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13. The former president was slightly injured, while one spectator was killed and two more were wounded. Crooks was killed by a sniper from the Secret Service. Investigators have still not determined the motive behind the would-be assassin's actions. FBI Chief Ray stirred controversy during his testimony before the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday when he said that there's some questions about whether or not is a bullet or shrapnel that hit Trump's ear. Ray was quickly slammed by Republicans and Trump himself, who said that statement like this are why the once-storied FBI has lost the confidence of America. Trump's personal physician, Ronnie Jackson, said there is no evidence that it was anything other than a bullet, and argued that it was wrong and inappropriate for Ray to argue otherwise. The New York Times and the Washington Post also reported that analysis of the photos of Trump's injuries shows that they were consistent with a wound from a bullet and not a bullet fragment. Ray was not the only one who was heavily criticized for handling the assassination attempt. Kimberly Shittle resigned as the head of the Secret Service on July 23 after admitting that her agency had failed to properly protect the former president. Yeah, definitely. So, people are against Trump. People are still against Trump. But I guess that's stupid, I guess That's a scandal. How people can support the Democrats? Democrats are the worst thing, you know. If they are World War III, you will see. The question is the critical question here. The bad question is if Kamala Harris will be elected, nobody will nobody will remember anything because nobody will remember because the world will be destroyed. There will be billions of people die. I guess there will be billion people died in the World War III. I'm just going to try to find Timur Fomenko news, but I guess maybe he was fired. Timur Fomenko is not here anymore. We miss you, Timur. We miss you, Timur. We are the best one. Don't forget about us. So, Cgtn, Chinese VP reaches Paris. China, US agree to maintain communication. Agree, yeah. It's funny because, oh yeah, I'm going to see two news. A lot of news from. I like it at least four news from the headline from the and said China, July 28. China US agreed to maintain communication at all levels. Cgtn, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, also a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, meets with US Secretary Antony Blinken. Anyway, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken met in Vientiane, Laos on Saturday to exchange views on bilateral relations, agreeing to maintain communication at all levels and further implement the important common understandings reached at the San Francisco meeting last November between the two heads of state. During his meeting with Blinken, Wang, also a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China (CPC) Central Committee, said that in the past 3 months, the diplomatic, financial, law enforcement, and climate teams of the two sides, as well as the two militaries, have maintained communication along with increased people-to-people exchanges. However, he said it must be pointed out that the US side has not refrained from moving to contain and suppress China, and in fact has gone even further. China-US relations are still faced with accumulating risks and challenges and remain at a critical juncture of de-escalation and stabilization, demanding efforts to recalibrate the direction, manage risks, properly address differences, remove disturbances, and advance cooperation, Wang said. He noted that China's policy towards the United States has been consistent, adhering to the principles of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation. The US side should earnestly implement President Joe Biden's commitments and return to a rational and pragmatic China policy, Wang said, while calling on the two sides to work together to promote a stable, healthy, and sustainable relationship. Wang pointed out that the United States holds a wrong perception of China and always mirrors China with its own hegemonic logic. China does not seek hegemony or practice politics, and has a major country. It has the best record on peace and security in the world, he said. The Chinese foreign minister expressed hope that the US side can better understand China, which he said is focused on pursuing happiness for its people and its rejuvenation. and committed to the path of peaceful development and building a community with a shared future for mankind. Taiwan is part of China and has not been and will never be a country, Wang noted, adding that Taiwan independence runs counter to cross-strait peace. He said that every provocation made by the Taiwan independence forces Taiwan independence forces will be met with countermeasures to reduce the space for Taiwan independence in favor of working toward the goal of complete unification. Taiwan also elaborated on the ins and outs of the Renai Yao issue, noting that China has reached a provisional arrangement with the Philippines on managing the situation. The Philippine side should keep its word and stop shipping construction materials, Wang said, while urging the United States not to move to fan the flames, stir up trouble, or undermine stability in the South China Sea. China's position on the Ukraine issue is fair and transparent, and it will continue to promote peace talks, said the Chinese minister, calling on the United States to stop abusing unilateral sanctions and long-arm jurisdiction. China rejects false accusations, will not succumb to pressure or blackmail, and will take resolute measures to protect its major interests and legitimate rights, Wang noted. During the meeting, Blinken said that the United States is strongly committed to stabilizing U.S.-China relations and continues to follow the One China policy. He said the United States looks forward to maintaining regular communication with China and continuing cooperation in areas including counter-narcotics and artificial intelligence. Yeah. So in 1 month ahead I will smoke some weed again, but by now I have to say that the United States will keep fighting China till the end of time, you know. It's just what you have to listen the last take from Scott Ritter. He said everything in Dialogue Works. The United States would like to manage differences between the two sides and avoid misunderstanding and miscalculation, he added. The two sides also exchanged views on the situation concerning Gaza and the Korean Peninsula and the question of Myanmar, among other matters. I hope Anthony Blinken really find a brain for itself. No, I'm sorry. I guess he's doing well. No. People criticize heavily Anthony Blinken, you know, and I guess he's just lying just because of Olympics, you know, just because of Kamala Harris election, because stupid people are against Trump, you know, because Trump comments, you know, just stupid people doesn't realize the threat for mankind posed by Democrats, by Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris will destroy the world if elected. China, July 28. Local SOEs in China report a 10.4% rise in R&D spending in first half of 2024. An illustration of robot arms operating a semiconductor production line. I wonder if this is a photograph. No, it is an illustration. Yeah, it's an illustration. State-owned enterprises supervised and administered by local governments in China reported a 10.4% rise in research and development spending that amounted to 249.57 billion yuan, about $35 billion in the first half of 2024, according to the State-Owned Asset Supervision and Administration Commission of the State Council. The increased spending come amid efforts by state-owned enterprises to accelerate scientific and technological innovation capabilities, said Wang Jutso, chairman of the commission. Wang said earlier this week that since the beginning of this year, state-owned asset supervision and administration commissions of local governments have launched a series of policy measures to support scientific and technological innovation. For instance, in East China's Shandong province, local state-owned enterprises are encouraged to prioritize wage increase incentives for scientific and technological talent and provide remuneration for key talent on a case-by-case basis. In Beijing and Xiamen, policies to set up research and development reserve funds for state-owned enterprises have been formulated and implemented on a pilot basis. Shang said the Commission will strive to optimize institutional arrangements to promote indigenous innovation in state-owned enterprises, encourage diversified capital investment, and nurture high-quality venture capital institutions in efforts to boost innovation in basic research and industrialize innovation outcomes. In the first half of this year, local SOEs reported total business revenues of 19.2 trillion yuan and total profits of 826.78 billion yuan. Their fixed assets investment stood at 2.9 trillion yuan. Oh, that's it. No more time for nothing. Yeah, Tommy was free all this time. Look at him. So well done for China. Yeah, if you wanna an English or Spanish or Portuguese teacher, just call me from China or Russia.